Okay, hi everyone. I'm AeonFrodo, and yeah, I I run free houses. I'm running the Crimson Flower category, so that's the route where you pick side with Edelgard, and yeah, go with her. And here with co-commentary, I have Tasmania Jones.
Tasmania Jones. I'm another Fire Emblem Three Houses runner that's recently just started. I started running the standard category for this game this year, so I've done a few routes, but I did do Crimson Flower recently, so I'm familiar with the most current route changes for it.
Yeah, and we're gonna go in detail in that for the run. So I'm just gonna get this set up, and yeah, I'm almost ready to go. I'll count the host down if they're ready to go with the timer. Alright.
I am ready to go whenever you are.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, and go. So, Fire and Free Houses, we have this cutscene with Sophus where you're supposed to select that birthday and everything. Now, we do have a name, also, that I think the winner was Bayleaf, I believe.
Yeah, so it's very important that we pick female Byleth for this.
Alright,
Actual.
Bayleaf. Alright, cool. Yes. And then we pick the 11th month, because in the Crimson Flower route we don't actually go through the 11th month twice. We actually go through month 12 twice though, unlike other routes where we actually skip month 12.
And we needed to choose female Byleth since we need to recruit a certain character later on.
Yeah.
But, or should I say Bayleaf, just for consistency. Okay, so this is our first map. It's a tutorial map, so firstly we're going to settle Aeon set all the game settings so that we skip all the animations that we don't want to see because those cost time. And she's also moved Edelgard next to Byleth there, since if you attack someone while next to an ally, you get support points with them, and because we're siding with Edelgard, we want to get those support points. So that's movement there. So otherwise it's fairly straightforward. Our objective is to kill this boss coming up, which is Costas. We just let him go towards us and then kill him on the next turn. It's fairly quick. This is fairly straightforward. The one thing you don't want to do is get a critical on Costas. If you get a critical on Costas, you get less experience, which is bad since we want more experience, at least early on.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's actually pretty bad for this route. Actually, you're right about that.
Yes. If you don't get enough support points, then you can't make a certain decision with Edelgard that you need to side with her. And the route's actually very tight, so the main way we're going to get support points is because there's a few ways you can get support in Three Houses. You can share meals with people, go to choir, tutor them, give them gifts. The meals in choir, well, meals are unfortunately too slow, and teaching also slow, so there's actually also... Yeah, so the main way we're going to get support is we need to not skip certain cutscenes. So our Bayleaf needs to make decisions that Edelgard's happy with because that gives her support, and also we're going to be picking up a number of gifts later to give to her, so to get enough support with her.
Yeah, we're also going to be picking up a lost item, which also helps increase the support points as well.
So we need to talk to all three house leaders. Now, what we actually did was load a file before we started, because if you don't load a file, you can actually get stuck in the door loading screen, which costs you around 10 to 15 seconds.
Okay, good. I selected the right option there. And
we also want to go straight to Ray. If you miss that option, you have to run back to the top floor, and that costs about 10 to 15 seconds. So we need to pick Black Eagles since we're doing Crimson Flower, so we want to pick Edelgard's house.
Yeah, all the three households happen to be the leader of them. So whoever you side with, it is mostly decided by the start of the game, except for in Edelgard's case, where that's not done until chapter 11.
Okay, so we're going to our first three days. So this is really a tutorial where we're just, well, in our case, we're just going to do the bare minimum we need to get past this tutorial week, which is just to talk to Edelgards. But normally in a casual run, you'd have the seeds you can plant. You can go fishing and you can also share a meal, but we're not going to do that since we don't need to.
Right, I'm going to save here because I don't want to forget this cutscene.
Yeah. Make sure we do not want to skip this cutscene. This is
Right,
a
cool.
chance to gain some support with Edelgard.
But once you get the support points with Edelgard, like once you see her portrait and the up sign, you just you can skip the cutscene afterwards.
Yeah. So the first battle's practice battle. So this is the one battle where we do use all 5 units that we deploy here.
Although we use one unit in a really funny way.
Yeah. So we just have to. The goal here is to kill all defeat all the enemies. It's a practice battle, so if someone gets defeated on our team, we don't lose them yet. Yeah. So main person we want to give kills to our experience to is Bayleaf, since she's going to be carrying most of the first part of the game. But we also get so with the other characters, we do give them some wins, but we don't want to give them too many, otherwise they get levels, and unnecessary level ups cost 4 seconds each time we get them.
Yeah, we don't want low ups on useful characters like Bayleaf. Oh my god. Otherwise I just mash too much and then zoom in, which you can do with the start button.
So every time we get a level up, we have a chance of gaining stats. The 3 stats that are most important to us are strength, because you do more damage with more strength. Speed, if you have enough speed. If you have enough speed, you can get 2 attacks on an opponent instead of 1, which does more damage. And also, defense is semi-useful to us. It means we don't take as much damage, and since our Bayleaf's going to carry most of the game, she's going to take a lot of attacks, so having better defense helps, but strength is the most important, followed by speed.
Yeah, and unfortunately had enough attack to take out Hanneman in 1 round. So that's very important to hit that strength benchmark for Bayleaf.
Yeah, so we're coming up to the 2nd month of the game, which it's another tutorial month, so we'll be exploring the monastery, but we also have a battle coming up, a practice battle coming up this month.
Yeah, it's we do a lot more this month compared to the previous month, although in other routes we do a bit more in the first month. Alright, so you might have noticed I've been zooming in for the monastery sections, and that's so there's less lag on the screen, so I can move faster. It's kind of silly. It's like a golden eye thing that we just look down and the game doesn't lag as much.
So Bayleaf's going to the greenhouse because we need to warp around there later, and we need to obviously explore the place before unlocking it in the...
Yeah, that's after talking to hardest NPC to talk to.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah, so again, we just do the minimum that's required to clear, to finish the yes, we have to finish these quests before ending the day. So now we're going to the teaching phase where each student learns skills that we assign to them. So for Edelgard, we pick axe and armor. Edelgard is very good with axes, and we also pick armor since she'll learn weight -3, so that will help improve her attack speed later on, which helps her to double some enemies, and we set
Oh, I
Lin
should have
Hart for
saved that.
faith.
Whoops. Oh well,
So
we'll see what happens.
we set Lin Hart for faith because he learns a very useful skill later on that we'll need. For the other students, we'll just leave their goals as they don't learn anything special. So we're at the practice battle now, so it's fastest just to use Bailey for this. So here our objective is to get to level 10 by defeating all the enemies here we'll get there, but there's 2 enemies that we deliberately finish off in 2 attacks. We'll finish off in 2 attacks instead of 1, since that gives more experience than just finishing them in 1 round. Yeah, so we picked up HP +5, it just makes the run more reliable since we can take more damage.
Yeah, and it's a mastery skill for common and noble class. So we just...
And you'll always notice that this battalion called Gerald's Mercenaries is leveling up. So battalions were introduced in 3 houses, so they give bonus. They can level up to 5, and they give firstly they give bonus stats. So in Gerald's Mercenaries we get more strength and more better evasion and also higher crit rate. And they also have
I hit
another
level 10
feature.
by the way, so that's good.
They also have another feature later on, which are gambits. So they're sort of like special moves. So they can either target a group of enemies and stun them, or they provide some useful skill that can change the outcome of the battle.
So what just happened with my thing is I just experienced auto tutoring, which happens every week, and there's a lot of students that have just learned something. So that kind of slows us down a bit. Also, we need to have a session with Manuela here, so she can teach us swords and ties, so we can promote to thief easily.
Say swords for thief.
Yeah.
And Manuela teaches.
You also need level 10 to
and
thief as
also,
well.
Yeah.
Certifications. I can't menu sometimes.
Yeah, so we're promoting to thief now, so it's 1 extra movement because movement's quite good. 1 extra movement actually helps at this quite a bit at this stage, but what helps more is that there are forest tiles in some maps. They normally take 2 moves to go through, but if you're a thief, you go through them in one space instead. So just moving faster just saves us a fair amount of time.
So we're going to undeploy Lin Hart here and remove all items off the main character here, and Ferdinand and Casper and Bernie. I like to need them.
Stay focused.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to not only complete this mission fast, but also kill the students that we don't need. So if you have a favourite character, I'm sorry, they're about to die.
As you wish.
Yeah, so yeah, this strat efficiently kills all the unnecessary students that we don't need.
We need to keep Edelgard, since if Edelgard gets defeated, it's a game over.
Yeah.
Other characters, not so much. And also, if Bailey dies, it's a game over as well. But what we do is we specifically move our students that we don't need towards the thieves, and also use auto battle unite so they move towards Bayleaf. They don't have any weapons though, so they just get hit by the thieves and get defeated. So yeah, if we leave them alive, they gain unnecessary skills, which costs us time, and they also celebrate their birthdays, which also costs about 2 seconds each time. So Thief allows us to get to the boss in 7 turns, and the uniting all students on the bridge means that most of the time they're defeated by turn 7.
Yeah, I also have to remember this cutscene coming because
Yeah.
support points.
There's another chance to gain support with Edelgard. There's 2 chances, but we only need 1.
I got it.
Yeah. And also, it's also important that all of our other Black Eagles got defeated there, since there's an event later on that if they're still in the party, it causes a number of problems. But we'll get to that in a few chapters.
So this particular chapter introduces battalions. Well, it properly introduces battalions, like you can actually buy battalions and everything. So we're going to have to talk to Jarita, who's at the greenhouse, and we unlocked that quick trial part earlier in chapter 2. So quick trial tool and just get a very important battalion for Edelgard, which is Stride, the Holy Monks. I call them the Stride Monks because they are very good.
Yeah, so that's all we do this month. So every time the character's birthday comes up and they're not defeated, there's an option to buy birthday flowers for them. It's generally a waste of time. For one character, it's not a waste of time though.
There's also a glitch in this where if you go to the mission day at the end of the month, you don't get the experience for that week, but we don't get we don't necessarily need that in this route.
So
it's mainly a golden thing.
Remember, if you're buying Crimson Flower, buy birthday flowers for Edelgard.
Yeah, I got there, don't worry.
It's free support, essentially free support points.
Yeah. So, happy birthday to Edelgard.
Yeah. So we're coming up with the upcoming mission.
Oh, yeah, so
yeah.
He doesn't die right away, but he will die later.
Yeah, so in our upcoming mission, we've been told by Rhea to kill some rebels from the Western Church. For this map, it's easiest just have Bailey do alone, because if we had the other characters, we'd have to worry about moving, which costs time. So what we need to do is there's a dark mage near the middle of the forest there that we need to kill to get the boss to spawn. Yeah.
That's the dark mage entirely.
Yeah, so Thief allows us to get through the forest faster, which is why we picked it instead of Mercenary, even though Mercenary has 1 extra strength.
Which would be useful by now, but
yeah,
no strength points here.
Yeah. And for the upcoming set of enemies, we're going to deliberately choose a bow instead of gauntlets to defeat them. So if you have a bow equipped that can't counter at 1 range, the reason why we don't want to counter at 1 range, if you can counter at 1 range, then the enemies will use their gambit, which has a good chance of stunning you.
That's a bad chapter 3. I took more than 3 rounds to beat Lenato.
Yeah.
Oh wow, everyone was alive. Wow, okay. I got a goddess icon. That rarely happens.
Yeah, so we use the bow on Lenato again, so he only attacks with his ranged weapon. We don't want to attack him at 1 range unless we've got really high strength, because then he gambits and stuns us. So if you get stunned, you lose all your benefits from your battalion, and you also lose stats in general, so we never want that to happen to us.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming up to chapter 4, which we won't be doing any exploring, but we will be stopping for an event this month.
Yeah, I unfortunately got a bit unlucky with the character questions because Dorothea was the first one that came up to the teacher to me. That means that I have to answer an extra question. So...
Okay, so we should explain the extra question. So at the start of each month, any character that's not defeated will ask us a lecture question. We want to always pick the worst answer because that saves timer. Yeah, so here we want to do Choir because it's support points for Edelgard, and we specifically want our other Black Eagles defeated, so it's always Edelgard and Linhart there. And thus we always get our support points with Edelgard.
You also get 45 support points from that as well, so it's actually vital to actually get that choir session as well.
Yeah.
If you miss it, it's really bad.
But speaking of, the lecture questions, we always want to pick the worst possible answers to the lecture questions. It gives us less experience, less press experience, so less time spent watching level ups. And also, if you get a neutral answer or the correct answer, they also gain motivation, which costs time. So, so in a speed run, you typically, I'd say, do the bare minimum to do your job properly. So here we're going to see our first instance of our Stride Battalion that we purchased in Chapter 3.
Which gives us to the Death Knight. I moved to the wrong tile.
So the Stride Battalion gives us +5 movement for 1 turn, so that allows us to move across the map much faster. And we also equipped Linhart with heal because he doesn't need to be defeating any enemies, and if he has his default weapon equipped, then it actually weighs him down, so he gets double attack. So now that we've finished this mission, we'll pick up the Sword of the Creator, which is a 1-2 range weapon that Bayleaf is... Well, other characters can use it, but Bayleaf's the only one who can use it without getting a penalty on it. That 1-2 range will be useful, though the weapon does weigh a bit, so I might discuss weapon weight a bit while we wait through the next month, since next up we're just skipping to the battle.
Yeah, there's not really much happening.
Yeah, so each weapon has a weight, so the higher the weight is for the weapon, the lower it actually lowers our speed when attacking. So there's a stat called attack speed, which is your speed minus penalty from carrying weapons with high weight. So having higher strength is one way to mitigate the weight penalty, and there's also other abilities to do that as well. But the main thing is our speed minus the penalty from weight controls our attack speed. So if our attack speed is 4 or more higher than the opponent, we do a double attack. If it's 4 or more less than the opponent, then we get double attack, so we essentially take double damage. So some of the Sword of Creator early on is a fairly heavy weapon at that point in the game, so
so we're in Chapter 5, so the boss is right in the middle of the map. Now, if we were doing the Golden Deer route, we could just skip right to the middle, but we don't have Lexivia, so we have to immediately go...
They have to go around and around the long way. So we've got a helper unit, green unit called Gilbert, who takes very little damage from physical attacks, but is controlled randomly by the...
Oh, I managed to defeat the mage, that's good.
So we've been training... So we did our sword training early on, so we've been training 2 weapons mainly. So the swords, but we've also been training gauntlets. So gauntlets are weapons introduced in Fire Emblem Three Houses that attack twice when we're initiating combat. So
they act like a brave weapon when we're initiating combat, but they don't. I can't describe it. When you're being counterattacked, you only attack twice.
So we're coming up to an important enemy, which is...
Oh no, I missed them.
So this Fortress Knight in the corner here has an accuracy ring, which gives us +10 hit, which we want because having better hit rates is more reliable. he's a bit. He takes Fortress Knights have high defense, so what we wanted to do was use the gambits on the battalion that stun him. Unfortunately, the first one missed, but the second one unfortunately hit. So
That's a bit annoying.
yeah. Yeah, this one is just a bit tedious getting to the top of the tower. We also have to be. This is. Yeah. So this is why we want decent defense, because it makes this chapter easy. It's not impossible if you've got low defense, but it's inconvenient because you have to stop and heal quite a bit.
Gilbert's about to go down.
Yeah. Yeah, so even though gauntlets have low might, since this is normal mode and Byleth has a naturally high strength stat, attacking 4 times will generally do more damage than just attacking twice, even with our Sword of the Creator, which is our most powerful weapon at the moment.
Can get him next turn. Yeah, so the bosses happen to be Sylvain's brother. His name's Miklan, and he stole the Lance of Ruin. So yeah, we have to.
We just attack him at 2 range, since he doesn't, in normal mode, he doesn't move. So it's safest to attack him at 2 range, since he won't counter attack us. And he does he can do a fair amount of damage.
It's really
Now we're coming
annoying.
up to a monster fight. Normally you're meant to fight monsters with your full team of students, but we let them get defeated in chapter 2, so you know, this,
Be mindful.
as you can see, it's just a bit of luck, so just doing chip damage to them, gradually to the monster. We want to try and get to the heal tile there, so that gives us,
Yeah, that heal tile's like your
30%
best friend
HP.
during the fight.
yeah, so we restore 30% HP at the start of each turn if we're on the heal tile. And this boss, even though it's not that accurate, it can hit fairly hard. So yeah, so at I'd say low to moderate strength, you're probably just best chipping away with the bow at it. Yeah, so the monsters do a sequence of they attack you, then they prepare a charge attack which does more damage, and you can't counter it, and then repeat the cycle. So we use the bow on the turn it just attacks us, since we can counter attack with the bow, but when it's preparing the charge attack we use the gauntlets, since they do more, if it's possible, since it does more damage. Yeah. So yeah, this chapter's typically the one that causes a number of resets in a non-marathon setting, because you can just die if you have bad luck to the monster. Coming up is an unskippable cutscene.
Professor, I have see people. Oh, please.
Yeah, the reason why this cutscene is unskippable is because you can get the Lance of Ruin, but it's like a decision that you have to make.
You
So that's why it's unskippable. I don't know why the first part is not skippable.
Yeah, the Lance of Ruin's a powerful weapon, but we don't need it in this route, since we have all the weapons we need for the run. But in some other routes, I think it's only Silver Snow that we pick it up, since we don't have a very powerful weapon to use in part 2. And it's also very powerful in early game as well. Yeah. So this month we're going to explore the monastery. So what happens story-wise is Flame's been kidnapped and we need to find her. So we're going to recruit some allies to help us.
Yeah, and it's
Firstly,
really
we're
important that
going-
we need to get these allies, because otherwise we can't really complete the next map really
I can assist
fast.
with any I'm available.
Firstly, we're going to recruit Shamir, who's a sniper that is an advanced version of the archer that has more might, but more importantly has the capability to attack at 4 range when have to attack it up to 4 range, which is
She's also the
need
closest
it.
thing to a pre-promote unit, which is a normal thing in Fire Emblem games, but there's really no pre-promote unit still
Okay,
around
so
this point.
next unit we're temporarily recruiting in that for this month. So she has a skill called Rally Strength, which gives us 4x strength, which firstly it helps us finish the map faster, and also it helps offset some of the weight penalty for Shamir, so she doesn't get killed by the boss on the next map every turn. And finally, we picked up a number of.
Thank you.
Well, firstly, once Gerald
I
did his quest and got some gifts that we're giving to Edelgard now, so we give her 2 gifts now, and we also picked up some owl feathers, which are universally liked by everyone as gifts. So we just got enough support points to unlock Edelgard's sea support, and it's important that we accept it.
Yeah, you get an extra 20 support points if you immediately accept the support conversation offer. If you don't get it, you lose out on those extra points and you need to make them up somewhere else.
So the next map coming up, so the objective of this is to either kill all the enemies except the boss, or kill the boss, and killing the boss is generally faster. And we've also set our goals here, so we want Edelgard to go to Axe Flying now, so flying skill classes are generally very good in 3 houses, so we want her to pick up some flying skill. And for Shamir, since we don't need any of her skills apart from
Dex plus 4.
Yeah.
And Dex plus 4 increases accuracy, so her attacks will be more accurate.
Well, she doesn't really need anything apart from that, so just saying her to riding means she'll only learn a few other skills, but not as much as her default goals. So this map, so
Okay, good,
we're
I
going to kill
didn't
the boss.
die. I didn't die first turn. That's
Yeah.
very important. I didn't
Yeah.
die first turn.
So it's obviously fast. It's just much faster to kill the boss here. So we rally Shamir with the net, so she does more strength and also doesn't get doubled. And we do take a fair bit of damage. So we have Winheart left behind who can heal Shamir. And also we're going to be picking up a door key from these enemies, which will be used in a later chapter. Yeah, so
Stay vigilant.
all you have to do is, because Shamir can attack it up to 4 range with the combat art. So combat arts are special weapon skills that we can use once we reach certain weapon ranks, and she has one called Curve Shot, which normally snipers attack at 3 range, but Curve Shot adds an additional 1 range to that, so that 4 range allows us to just beat the Death Knight in 3 attacks,
Yes.
which was the boss of that map. And we've got an unskippable cutscene here that for the next 2 options we want to pick the wrong option again.
Yeah, we won't pick the wrong option, the last 2 options. The first 2 don't matter.
Okay, so after that cutscene, so we've just got a new unit called Flame, and she's a healer, designed to be a healer, and she'll be important for some time in this route.
Yeah, although you don't permanently keep her, but there's a reason for that.
So we're coming up to, this is the big first big 3-way battle in the game, so coming up to that. So firstly, we're going to give the wrong answer, but we also, Flame asked to change her goals to Faith, and it's faster to accept that goal request. Now,
Yeah, so this upcoming map is probably the most RNG map in the game. There's just a lot going on.
so yeah, we also want to
Not skip
in one of the
cutscenes.
cutscenes.
Yeah. I'm aware.
The first ones, yeah, the pre-battle ones typically faster to get the support points, although if you miss that, you can get it on
Post-battle, yeah.
post-battle. So again, we pick an option that Edelgard likes to get more support. Yeah, so this 3-way battle, first few turns there's a standard set of steps to follow, but yeah, you have the 2 other houses, so the Golden Deer and Blue Lions, that will, after the first few turns, some of them may or may not be defeated, so what we're going to do is, we're mainly going to be using Bayleaf here to defeat all the enemies, which is the goal of the map. And we have Flame. So Flame is the green-haired girl, and what she does is mainly heal by with our early on.
Wow, I missed. That's not good. Wow. Oh, this is bad. Okay.
Yeah, so we just got attacked by one of the blue lions called Ingrid. She's a really fast unit, and she also has an
I
ability
died
that
again. Okay.
yeah, she has an ability that gives 5 extra damage with
Okay.
lances.
Stay
I might have to
focused.
just. I don't think I can go up to Ash. Pay
Let
for
us
the
away.
next. And then.
I'd
We
like
don't need
to
to
take it easy.
Thanks, Linhart. There's
Yeah,
where.
could heal it all.
Yeah. His personal skill
Yeah.
activated. Okay.
So we don't want our enemies to go towards Edelgard or Winheart. They generally don't, but if you get careless, they can.
This is not good. Okay. What I can do here is. Oh, that won't do anything. Okay. What can I do?
Yeah. Just some enemies, like these Pegasus Knights, and also some of the Golden Deer will always target Bailiff if they can, which it semi helps because it means we can have Flame, who's our healer, heal us without being defeated quickly by the enemies. And we also want to, if you want to keep Flame next to Bayleaf, since she has a personal skill that reduces all damage by 3 points.
This is so
It's not
bad.
critical, but it can help, especially if you've got low strength.
I might have to reset this
Okay.
mission because this has been so bad.
Be mindful.
Alright. I'm gonna keep my support points. Oh, sorry, my experience, because that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, so in normal mode you have to, well, we have bad news as we have to reset, but in normal mode we can keep our experience and restart the map if things go wrong. In hard or maddening mode you can't do that.
Yeah, so that's just a marathon safety strat with when that comes with normal mode, which is really nice. But that's just really
Yeah.
unfortunate that just
Yeah.
my stuff's already done, is it? Yeah, it is. Okay, never mind. I can just start the battle again. That's convenient. I did not know that. Never had to use this.
I will prevail.
Yeah, so unless you're playing blue lines, this map can be somewhat of an issue since. Yeah, so we've got.
Stay
I mentioned Ingrid earlier, but we've also got another unit,
Let us
some
away.
other problematic units.
Yeah, to do is another one. Please don't kill me again. Didn't, but okay, cool. He's in a normal spot now.
Yeah, so just trading just allows Flame to switch what Violet's weapon is. So because we can't, the bow's super effective against Ingrid because it's effective against Ingrid, but
I'd like
it
to
doesn't
take
let
it
her
easy.
counterattack the other Pegasus Knights, so we want to switch to the gauntlets there. And we do have our Sword of the Creator, but that only has 20 uses per map. We do get some uses back
Well done.
after each battle because we skip our exploration. But we do need to keep an eye on the
Wow.
number of uses.
This is a situation. Sorry. Flame's gone, but I still have. I had to take out Leonie. God,
Careful
this is
now.
bad.
Yeah, so, I mean, so generally what happens is we don't know what's going to happen with the other two houses, so key, yeah, so one of the key skills for getting faster times is to know how to make decisions quickly on this map.
It's quickly and also somehow managing to
While
get
not
out
dying.
Yeah.
Stay focused.
Okay, I'm gonna be attacked by 3 people here, so I need to up.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's some enemies that won't. They focus on healing their allies, which it can cost a bit of time. Like Mercedes here, which is another white mage.
Yeah, she's probably the
So-
biggest time waster in every single route, which is kind of funny.
So,
The dude is
Yeah,
like
so-
running away from me, I think. Yeah.
yeah, so you got
Okay.
Daju here.
Don't run away, come back.
Yeah, so Daju has the highest
Stay
defense out
focused.
of all the students, and is also in an armored class which has high defense. So he can be a little problematic to deal with, especially it's mainly on Crimson Flower and Burnt Wind, where you face him as an opponent in this battle. That can be a bit somewhat problematic.
Okay, that's my first death, so it's not too bad. I just need to heal up properly.
Yeah, so in the Blue Lions version, we don't have to worry about Daju since he's on our team.
Wow, this is I'm alive, but my sword broke.
Gambit,
Yeah, Gambit will work, yeah. Wow. That was pretty rough, but made it through.
yeah, this battle can be very tricky, especially if we do have below average strength, which I think we only had 20 to 21, which is
Yeah,
not
that's really bad.
it's workable, but not ideal, not great.
Yeah, Blessed Lance Maria, yay. Not like that dude does much. I think he only does something in Silver Snow, but that's it. But yeah, chapter 8, so there's like different things you could do depending on your strength stat. Now, because I have low strength, I have to go with the buying the Armor Slayer, which is probably a good idea considering how garbage my strength stat is. The Armor Slayer cuts through armored units quite easily, so I
The
need
armored
it.
units blocking our way on the next map.
And eventually some bosses.
So yeah, after chapter 7, we get access to more powerful weapons and also battalions, which we'll be doing a bit of shopping before the next map to upgrade our
Oh,
weapons.
okay. Somehow that did not register my
Yep.
foot. I know. Alright. Yeah, so the sword crate that recovers like every week by 5 uses. So that's why we can use it so liberally. In other Fire Emblem games, usually the main weapon does not recover, so recover uses. So yeah, I'm gonna buy the Armor Slayer and a bunch of battalions. So I'm gonna buy the Empire Pexisco, which is really good for
Power
Yeah.
and better
accuracy.
hit rates.
Also I should not.
And also flying units can use it.
Yeah.
Flying units can't use our Geralt's mercenaries.
Taurus Archers just to refill, and then Mercenaries for plane. And I'm supposed to get rid of everyone else, even though I like. You normally do that with
I will prevail.
you have other people, but it's okay.
Yeah, so this strategy is just to Stride Byleth and move her. It's a defeat boss. Well, it's a defeat boss map.
I can't believe it. Another
Yeah.
triple up there. That's disgusting.
Casually, you're meant to save the villagers, but we're a speedrunner, so we're just going to charge straight towards the boss. And we're using our armor slayer here, so we can kill the armored knight here. Yeah, so because we didn't save any villagers, they all instantly die this turn. So no rewards, but we don't need those.
Oh, I didn't kill him. That's awkward.
Yeah.
Stay focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
We'll
yeah,
do that.
probably up to 2 range. Yeah. So most of the villains, some of the villains have a skill that if you attack while adjacent to them, you do less damage to them, which can be a bit annoying, especially if you've got low strength. Normally doubling with the armor slayer is fine, but at low strength it doesn't KO because of the damage reduction from being adjacent. So month 9 is coming up. Well,
Dance
chapter
competition
9
month.
or month 12, yeah, dance competition. So we're going to select a dancer. So if you recall, maybe from previous Fire Emblem games, a dancer allows another unit to move again, but we need to select a suitable person. But don't worry, this is why we picked female Byleth.
Yes.
And we're also going to give some more gifts to Edelgard to increase our support points.
Yeah, so we're recruiting Sylvain, who only really joins us for free if you're a female Byleth. So we also absolutely need him with this route. There's like no other option for dancer. Oh my god. Did I just really say yeah that? Yeah. Oops. Alright. So we're going to recruiting Sylvain, he actually has enough stats to win the dance competition at his current level when you recruit him.
I've been thinking. Well, I'll be
Without any
So that's really
training.
convenient.
So, Professor, me?
And where am I going? I'm not... Alright.
Yeah, so
I need
there's an
a
item,
pen.
there's a lost item from Edelgard that we conveniently pick up. That returning that to gives more support points.
Give her both the owl feathers.
Yeah, just all the gifts and the lost item. Yeah. And then also, yeah, so in the Black Eagles route, so we've got our dance candidate Sylvain, who will be going up against 2 other students that are randomly chosen, and that can include House Lords. So here's the dance
Oh my
competition.
god. That's great. So we got Dimitri, who's the leader of the other house, and Raphael, who's the big chunky guy from from Goldia. Dimitri got a vote.
Yeah, so we can either get 2 or 3 votes since, yeah, so we need 14 charm at least to win the competition. Sylvain has enough without. You can do training to get 5 extra charm, but we don't need that, so
Yeah, that's like a sort of snow only thing.
yeah. So
You can get a backup here in case you missed the support from chapter 7, but we got that, so
Not a It's all
also we're going to be selling the tea leaves that we won from our dance competition, since in part 2 you actually get the option to go to tea parties, but we don't want to do that. So, well, firstly, we need to reclass Sylvain to dance, so game doesn't automatically do that for us. And we sell our tea leaves, so we don't have any tea parties options in part 2.
yeah, the menu's a bit slower in part 2, so we need to sell those, although because there's less part 2 we don't have to worry about that too much in Black Eagles, but it's still good to sell because it's a very quick menu. Anyway, so this chapter can either go really bad or really good depending on if we hit our gambits early. Also, Barth has really low strength, so I have no idea how this will go.
We spread everyone up, and so this is, we need Flame to break, so using gambits breaks barrier tiles. If the monster's barriers are up, we only do half damage to them, so we kind of need these barriers down to do enough damage. Yeah, and also with this monster we want to move
I can't
far up.
move.
Yeah.
I got no strength again.
Yeah, so we want to move far up enough. So if we move up far enough, then There's also a monster off screen to the upper right. If we move up like here, then that monster will go toward us. If we don't move far enough, then it runs away from us, and that's just not good for us.
Yeah, I can't restore. So we have flames, luckily, to restore us.
Yeah.
Boost flames.
Every time you get hit by one of these monsters and it does damage to you, you lose 6 strength. So having flame use restore removes that effects.
Stay focused.
Okay, good. That was
Good to work.
made it
Also
through.
the bomb, yeah.
Ugh, she did not gain any. This is really bad for strength points. Oh my god. Ugh.
Be mindful.
Wow, this is so bad. I really don't want to resort to. Wow, Okay,
If you get a crit, you'll be fine.
I
But,
didn't get a
You're
crit.
you're still gauntlets, so they're nearly broken.
Stay focused.
I'm not surprised. Oh wow, they
I think you have to burn the turn here.
Flame just died. Wow, I did not.
That's
expect
not
that.
good.
Yeah, I need flame.
Let us away.
Wow. Okay.
Be
Right.
mindful.
Wait, should be 3 range.
I'm on it.
Yeah, normally with higher strength, this map's okay, but when you start getting below 24 strength at this
Not bad.
level, which is,
Not bad at all.
I guess, yeah, the average it would be around 23 to 24 on this map. If you're
Yeah.
below that, then
You're just gonna
yeah,
struggle.
it's problems. Especially on Crimson Flowers. On Silver Snow and Vent, when you have better weapons. So yeah, so unfortunately our father just got killed by someone who's going to be the boss of
Yeah, Kronya.
this next one. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the hardest boss in part 1, mainly because she's very dodgy, and you won't be able to double attack her unless you use the gauntlets. But even so, you won't be able to get the brave effect off them, because you still need the force. But yeah, so what we do with Kronya is we have a 1 round her or 2 round her, depending, and depending on what we get, we hopefully 1 round her, but that is extremely unlikely with my strength. So I don't have to put the energy drop on Byleth.
Yes, that last up we got an energy drop which gives +2 strength to whichever unit uses it. So you can either give it to Byleth if we need the strength to meet some key stat requirements for the map, or you can give it to Edelgard, so later on. So we'll be using Edelgard at some point. We've kept her at level 1 for a reason.
Yeah, hopefully she stays at that level. Linhart's definitely going to hit level 2, I think. Yeah, I had to heal Byleth at one point, so yeah, I had to.
Yeah, so yeah, it's not, if you have to 2-turn, it's a bit harder, and you do still need your units alive. You still need Flame alive if you 2-turn this map.
My faith, stay focused.
I'm on it.
Yeah, so yeah, fortunately the boss of this map does not move on normal difficulty.
Did she die?
The accuracy is a
No.
little.
That
Yeah,
was
we're definitely on.
helpful.
Yeah, so we only have around 70 displayed hit, but Three Houses uses
To our end system.
what rolls as 2 numbers. So summary, if it's displayed above 50, then our actual hit rate's more than 50, and if it's below, then our actual hit rate's less than 50. So having accuracy boosts is good. So we need to warp Sylvain, so he has enough distance to reach Bayleaf. Have Flame there, so Edelgard can
Oh,
use
she
Stride
leveled
her.
up somehow. Wonder how.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't really do
So, yeah.
anything with her, but at least she got speed, which is honestly more important than anything.
Yeah, so we need to move Flame there so that Edelgard strides both Bayleaf and Sylvain, which allows us to reach the boss this turn.
We must.
Yeah, so our Sword of the Creator that we had earlier, that's now upgraded, so instead of having 7 power, it has 15 power now. And also, it has less weight, so we're faster.
Also, this month is like kind of the moment of truth, whether I've done all the correct support things with Edelgard.
So normally we'd skip to the end of the mission
End of the month.
to end of the month, but in Crimson Flower you do not want to do that immediately.
70 display is not 91 actual, it's like 80. High 80s.
Yeah, so so Crimson Flower is only unlocked if you get enough support with Edelgard, and you also do a special task this month.
Cool, I got it. So yeah, my support routing was good.
So yeah, this current route gives just enough support points, so she gets C+ on chapter 11, which is what you need to. And we also get a free promotion to Enlighten Ones that has 5 more power with swords and
2
also
extra
better
strength.
stats in
It's
general.
all be-
I understand.
I'm getting it.
Yeah,
Considering I've been itching the strength,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
so it's very, very important that we visit the monastery this week.
First of all, I'm going to change my change.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
gonna do that
giving
before.
Shamir the Stride Battalion, so she has 5 move compared to to our other units which only have 4 move, so it's generally easier to use to get the correct stride setups with our 5 move units.
Perfect. It will take. It's very.
So yeah, if you do not have a C+ support, you do not get a choice here. But we need to talk to Edelgard and pick that option.
And this is also
Yeah.
an unskippable cutscene.
Yeah, to have the option to do Crimson Flower.
So this is one of the 2 things that we need to do. So we fulfill that requirement. And,
Yeah, and this also conveniently automatically ends
Thank
the
you.
day for us.
We are out of.
and skips an entire week as well. This is why we go to the 22nd. But yeah, she just became Emperor, by the way. That's what that cutscene just established.
Another reason why we're, I guess a less important reason, but we did move the battalion to Shamir for another reason as well. Yeah, so unfortunately for this map, we don't have Edelgard available as an ally, and you'll see why in this map.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Edelgard is the boss.
Stay focused.
That doesn't get revealed to you in the other routes until the end of the map, but in this route, get that revealed to you early.
Okay, so yeah, even though Linhart's level 1, if we kill, because he has naturally high magic defense, so if we
Yeah,
kill the armored knights,
I keep on doing.
then he'll, yeah, it's either, yeah, he does get hit, but it doesn't defeat him. So here, we set Linhart's a faith, so he learns a skill called Warp, which is going to be most useful in this map. So it allows us to teleport a unit. In Linhart's case, it'll be 2 spaces, at least up until part 2.
But 2 spaces is enough.
Yeah, 2 spaces, so just allows us to get up that cliff, and then we have to defeat the boss.
It'd be Edelgard, yeah. Wow, no strength.
Yep. We get a heap of items which we don't need, and
Yeah.
then we've also got a very important decision to make.
Yeah, so this is the other requirement for the Crimson Flower route. You have to pick the bottom option for this to go on the route. Otherwise, you go on Silver Snow. Right, you got it. Another way you can know you went on the Crimson Flower route is you can skip that cutscene.
Yeah.
If you go on the Silver Snow route, you can't skip that cutscene. You have to like bash through it, which is kind of silly.
So we just ran away from the monastery with Hazel Gardens and Winhart and south the other Sylvain and Shamir. Yeah, so this is the other side. So normally Edelgard's the final boss of the first part for the other ones. This route's the opposite. So Rhea, who's the person we've been taking orders from, we just betrayed her, so we have to face off against her on this map. There's a few bosses here that we do need to be a bit mindful of. So on this map, so instead of the Edelgard Empire going against Skagmark, we are the ones invading. And there's a number of church units who are defending. So I'd say this version's generally a bit more complicated than the other routes.
I need to
Just because-
quickly. Okay, yeah, I need to replenish my battalion just for safety.
So we only need Bayleaf for this map. Edelgard's force deployed, but we can hide her in one of the forests.
I have my armor slayer conveniently. Oh, I forgot. Unequip Edelgard.
And we don't need to, yeah, so we do have some green units that will randomly attack the other bosses. Generally they get defeated, which is good since we don't want to waste time watching with animations. But yeah, there's a small chance that the green units will actually kill the other bosses on the left and right.
Yeah, recently I had a run where plane went down, so that was interesting, but she's pretty strong now, so...
Yeah, so yeah, initially the goal is actually to kill all the enemies on the map, but that's not the true goal of this mission, so we're coming up against a fairly powerful boss. So Sedet has high defense, okay speed, but enough power to actually
I couldn't one round him.
defeat you. Yeah, so this is why we kept the door key, because we needed to unlock this door, so...
Yeah, that was way back in chapter 6 that we got that door key, so
yeah.
that's where we...
And we're also heading towards the top since... Yeah, so after a certain number of turns, the
turn
main
12.
boss will just spawn.
Yeah, so
And that's faster than trying to kill all the other bosses.
on turn 12, Rhea spawns, basically.
And also we specifically went on that stronghold tile, since it means Rhea spawns off it, so she has much less evasion. And can't... I think she can still heal because of her weapons, but it's far easier to attack her off that stronghold. And if we're blocking it, which was where she normally spawns, then she spawns somewhere else. Okay, so yeah, so Byleth just got killed by Rhea because we made her angry, because we took her mother away from her, that's why.
Betrayed her too, I mean,
Yeah.
you would probably feel that way if someone betrayed you.
Yeah, so we're now on to the second part of the map.
Second part of the game.
Second part of the gap.
Yeah.
So,
It's 5 years later, and everyone's
Yeah, so-
older.
and
Except for
they've
Byleth.
also everyone below level 20 in normal mode just got leveled up to 20. That includes our house leader Edelgard, which getting 19 free levels it does some things. And she's also promoted to the Armored Lord class, which has a bit more strength and defense but has bad mobility, so we'll be fixing that soon. So we're just going to yes.
Yeah, I got the goddess
Fix
icon
inventory,
too,
yeah.
so I'm gonna use that as well.
So we use our start boosters on
Abilities,
Edelgard to
and
yeah.
person, change, trade, and promote her to even either. No,
Yeah.
or is cool, but no.
Yeah, so Wyvern Rider has seven men, but most importantly it's a flying unit, so it can bypass a number of
And I gotta go to market.
obstacles.
By her axes.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot accuracy ring. Good thing I just checked. It's 3:30 a.m. and yeah, so might make some really tired mistakes. That's fine though.
So the Wyvern Rider class, it does have boosts to strength and speed, which is what we want as well, so it's a generally good all-around class. And we only need to be level 20 to do that, which thankfully the auto levels gives us enough levels. And she also has more stats than normal, since she actually technically promoted at level 1, and promoting early, if her stats are below what the promoted class stats is, they get boosted to that. So she gets strength from promoting and also strength from the 19 level ups. So this map, easiest, we also got a new unit called Yuritsa here.
He's a death
He's
knight.
actually quite powerful, and we use him to one-turn this map by killing firstly the Armored Knight with magic, and then the boss with 100% accuracy. Since he has a lance, a powerful lance, size its aerial, and he also has plus 20 hit when he initiates combat from his personal ability. So
Oh.
Yuritsa casually is a quite powerful unit, probably only a bit less powerful than our early promoted House Lord.
Yeah, he also God. He's only exclusive to the Crimson Flower route, so yeah, he's useful. And he came as a free update, so that's why we have our game updated. All that.
So yeah, he was useful for that map. Yeah, so right now, so this is the first half of the second part where we need to defeat the Alliance. So the first map was fairly easy, where it just had to cross the bridge to the Alliance. Next map is where we actually face off against the leader of the Golden Deer, which is
Claude.
it's just to defeat Claude, it's just to defeat the boss map, so it's going to go fairly quickly.
Yeah, we also do other things in that map too, but we'll get to that pretty soon.
Can I use?
Alright, so our first set of movement is we're just moving bar left because we can use auto battle commands. Do we ever explain what auto battle does?
Order battle, so there's a few options. There's charge, which means they'll attack the nearest they'll generally attack a nearby enemy that can kill easily. Unite moves enemies around Byleth. And I think the other one we don't use on this route, but we use on others is fallback, so if we're in range of an enemy, then units will go out.
Also, Dorita went down. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's unfortunate, but we can live with that. So Crimson Flower is the only route where you can recruit units in part 2 that you previously didn't recruit in part 1. So we just recruited Lysithia, who was up mage that killed Yuritsa. So yeah, Lysithia killed the Death Knight in this route.
It's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Also, we've just used a combat art called Raging Storm, so it's exclusive to Edelgard's weapon, but allows us to move immediately again after using it, even if we miss. Just as long as we don't die, then it's fine.
Yeah, It's probably the most broken skill in the game since you can just do another action. And it's not like a Kanto thing where you just move after you finish your turn. It's
Yeah, so if
actually...
you thought Gale Force and Awakening was broken, then Welcome Raging Storm. Well, Raging Storm you can only use 5 times before you need to repair that weapon, but 5 times is enough for us. Yeah, so with that CLI speed, and we decided to spare Claude. You can, if you defeat him with Aelgard or Byleth, you can either kill or spare him. It affects the story, but it doesn't affect our rating. So now we're going on to fight the Kingdom and the Church, which are the other enemy factions in the game.
Yeah, but first we're under attack as the monastery gets on. So, gotta defend the monastery, which is kind of our base of operations, which is kind of weird considering Edelgard literally has a castle, but...
Also, you would have seen Lysithea, who's the mage girl with white hair. We recruited her in the previous map, and she's actually fairly strong at this point in the game. So she has 32 magic, which is more than enough to help with the next couple of maps.
Yeah, let's see if it will actually be a tactical nuke or glass cannon.
Yeah, so we're under attack, unfortunately, from the Church of Saros. Fortunately, we've got our Raging Storm tool, which will be making quick work of the next map.
Yeah, we'll be using it quite liberally here.
Let's clean up.
I'm grateful.
We
For
check.
the Empire.
Good.
What's the plan?
Alright,
So we've got 3 bosses to kill.
Yeah, this particular archer has like 5 range and it's supposed to be Shamir replacement, so this particular archer is kind of ridiculous.
Okay, so we've got 35 strength already, which is good.
Yeah, I just made a
We
mistake
want a
there.
bit more. We want a bit more speed. I think we want around 23,
We want 23 speed, yeah.
23 or 24.
We want
Depends on what
23.
your strength is.
It's 23 speed. That you want for a
Yeah,
Weaver
so we just used Raging Storm 3 times to defeat the
I
first.
didn't
First
use
two
Silver Axe there, but it worked out.
Yeah, so 35 strength allows us to KO Eloise, which is the other boss of the map, without getting encountered with the Brave Axe. So if you're at high health or have a way to heal, then Silver Axe is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's normally a 4th boss that spawns on that map, which is fine, but if you finish the map on turn 1, then she doesn't spawn, but she presumably perishes somewhere, because, yeah, that cutscene, if you kill Sethith and Flame, then Rhea gets really angry at you.
It's always really funny though in this route when Rhea appears, so like every line that comes out of her mouth except for like one is hilarious, honestly.
So, next 2 maps we're fighting the Kingdom in these maps, and
Also
like
promote to the
previous
worst
map,
class.
Yeah.
So we need to change
So we
that.
promote to Emperor, which is an armored 5 movement class, but we're just going to... We can just reclass back to Wyvern. Yeah, so next 2 maps are maps where we need to defeat all... Yeah, so normally what happens in some other routes is there's a few defeat all bosses maps, but a lot of them are just defeat boss in part 2. Crimson Fire is a bit different, even though it's shorter. There's quite a few more defeat all bosses.
Oh no, there's only 2.
Actually,
These next 2 maps.
well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, the defeat all bosses makes it along with our Raging Storm potential, makes for quite interesting reading because we just so Claris, who's one of the other Fire Emblem runners who ran at GDQ recently, did some quite a bit of rereading to part 2 to make it much more reliable and also make good use of all the tools that are available. So on chapter 16.
Yeah,
so,
chapter 16 can be really dumb
Let's clean up.
sometimes, so hopefully we don't experience too much
Yeah.
of that.
We've got 5 bosses to kill.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. What's my strategy?
So
Okay, good. Didn't miss the gambit.
firstly, we want to so we want to use the gambit so Felix, who's the first boss, doesn't attack us immediately. We then use Edelgard to kill Roger, who's Felix's father, and also died like a true knight there.
Early.
Yeah. So
Um,
so we also picked up a weapon called Axe of Zoltan from Eloise, and it's super effective against armored units, so we just use it to kill the third boss, who's Gwendol there, who just got killed by that Axe of Zoltan.
and charging like makes us get killed.
Yeah.
No.
So Dark Spikes is very effective against cavalry units, boss units, so
Okay.
so
He's not down yet.
and we wanna so next we need to kill Felix. He unfortunately has his
Just-
shield,
Yeah.
which gives him a fair amount of defense, but also gives him a fair amount of chances of halving damage. So sometimes we'll need to swing multiple times to kill him, which is
Heal up.
yeah.
Far left.
And also going to see warp on this map again.
Yeah, we'll see
Yeah.
enhanced warp range, which is 5. That's really good.
Yeah. So warp allows us to get over the houses, and it's very important that we so whenever you break all the barriers on these monster enemies, you get a special crafting item. We're going to need this. We're going to need the crafting item that comes from this robot for the final map. So using a gambit helps. So it breaks the tile you're adjacent,
I must
breaks the tile that you target, and also
Oh.
breaks some
Oh.
other tiles as well.
Oh, well, that was... I thought you would have died. I guess you didn't.
Yeah, so we need to break the robot's barrier so we get our.
tread carefully.
So we're going to break the barrier, and we get a Garthian, which we need that for endgame. And we also get Bayleaf to kill Cornelia, the 4th boss of stuff, and Edelgard can kill Ingrid, who's the 5th boss of this map. So she has a problem melee, but Edelgard has enough bulk to tank her attacks and then kill her on the subsequent turn. Yeah, so unfortunately we made Edelgard's uncle angry, and he dropped some pillars of light on the fortress that we just took. So
No, I got a crit, Kirby. It was definitely a crit.
yeah, so we made him
Disappointing.
a bit angry. So yes, it's a bit unfortunate, but with Edelgard, they have to keep pressing forward and the kingdom, and eventually Rhea herself.
Alright. So this map can be a bit of a doozy if things go wrong. Like the map before, although not really much went bad the map before.
Yeah.
So, just Felix. Alright, so Edelgard learned alert stance, which can be useful in case it needs to be a bit dodgy. Gives 10 extra avoid, so that can make a difference.
15x. 15. Yeah, the next up can be a little tricky. It can be a bit trickier.
I also really hope that Bath doesn't get bodied here, because she can. Yeah, so
Yeah.
this particular map, I'm more concerned about Barleth because there's a bunch of units that are going to spawn in the top left corner, and they can just like destroy Barleth quite easily, especially with a low strength. I think she only has like 27-ish strength.
Yeah,
Isn't really
there's another
great.
map where we have to defeat 5 bosses, but some of the bosses don't spawn until we reach certain parts of the map.
What's my strategy?
Let's clean up.
Well done.
No, that's
Okay,
not
so,
good.
For the
Alright,
Empire.
so maybe Baleth this is just a setup for one of the boss kills later,
Yeah.
since it spawns in the upper left corner. There's a very annoying Gramarye that has bolting, which is a 10 range magic spell that will easily kill Winheart. So we're just going to use Raging Storm to get rid of it.
And killing
then-
Sylvain replacement gets you
Yeah.
gets Crusaders spawn there.
Let's make this quick.
Yeah, unfortunately our Amir, which is our Aeogard special weapon, that's broken. This is why we broke the robots barriers in chapter 16. We'll get to that on the next chapter. So
Also, I think I have 25
yeah.
speed or 24.
22, 23. You should be okay, yeah. So we just spray back Freya. Aeogard's strong enough to get rid of her. And also, yeah, so we've got Deju, who was a very tanky unit. This is why we recruited Lysithius. He has magic that's very accurate and will kill Deju in 1 round. If you don't kill him in 1 round, he actually turns into a monster, recovers all his HP, and just hits hard in
I may not
general. So we just want to get rid of Deju.
Yikes. Okay, good.
Yeah, so
Thank
unfortunately
God.
Winheart died, but
That's not
That's-
unfortunate.
we don't need him. yeah. So this turn we kill Mercedes. She unfortunately has a skill which can halve damage sometimes, but
Not
also
half,
she has
it's
miracle.
a miracle. Yeah.
She has both of them
Oh, she has? Okay. Never
because
mind
she
then.
has a relic.
Right.
Yes. But yeah, once we get rid of Mercedes, we can just use Aeogard to a Brave Axe Dimitri. It's not the best accuracy, but yeah. So the skill she learns at B axes, which is Lightsbreaker, gives her 20 more accuracy against Dimitri,
Oh.
and also we picked the accuracy rings to have better hit. I think it's double 70 displayed hits, but
Yeah,
without
also
our
this is the last map, by the way, so get ready on time.
So we broke the robot's armor in chapter 16 to get Agathium. So we can actually Agathium's the material we need to repair our broken Edelgard's axe Emir, which allows us to use Raging Storm. So we're going to repair that, and also I think a big idea for you to repair battalions. I think Edelgard was in the red last map, so yeah, if we break our battalion, then we lose on
No.
some of our strength, so probably safe as a repair that.
I always
So, yeah,
pick the
so-
wrong option here.
The objective of this map is to defeat Rhea, which is the Archbishop who's turned into a dragon because we took her mother away from her.
I'm grateful.
But yeah, so
For the
we
Empire.
only really need Edelgard at this and Sylvain at this point, so move Edelgard up here, get Sylvain to dance for Edelgard, so
And then we
she
use
can
Raging
get-
Storm for most of this next map. Most of this map.
So Raging Storm does a lot of damage to dragons, and also it'll break the barrier. So those barriers cut damage by 70%. That's in addition to the 50% damage loss from 50% damage reduction from being the dragon boss. Yeah, so we just spam Raging Storm on that tile, and then use the Brave Axe.
I'm gonna dismount here because I can Brave Axe and not use not get mount penalties because I hit 25 speed by Sylvain, and time is coming up really soon.
Yeah, so Cyril, who's our enemy to
Time.
the left, he actually does.
Hope they heard that because you talked over the top of it.
Okay. This time,
Yeah, so that was a 1:23.18. That's not too bad. It was going to finish early.
When humanity stands strong
So yeah,
and people reach out for
that
each
is
other, there's no need for God.
that is the Crimson Flower out of Free
Your
Houses.
reign
There's
of tyranny is over.
we briefly mentioned this, but there's 3 other routes that are in Free Houses, so there's a lot of this game to run.
Time has come.
Yeah, so yeah, this run wasn't too bad despite how unlucky I got in chapter 7.
part 1 was just slow strength battle. I
Yeah,
guess.
dealing with low strength Barlick and everything.
Yeah, so that's Cyril, who's the enemy on the last map. If you're quite close to Ray, he actually won't bother attacking you. So he's a Wyvern Lord that can quad attack. So has a brave weapon, but unfortunately he's too dumb to attack us if we're
You mean fortunately?
one space.
Yeah,
For one
he's
space away, yeah.
yeah,
Is it?
he's silly.
Is it over?
But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot to run with Free Houses. There's a Fire Emblem Discord if you want to run Free Houses or any other Fire Emblem game if you want to. But and there's Tasmania Jones has like introduced a lot of like new strats, and he wasn't really like we said at the beginning, he's only started running the main categories this year and has brought a lot to the table. So any of like fresh perspective can help change the route a bit and make this more optimized. Oh, not just this route, but any of the routes really. Yeah. So, do you have anything to say, or?
I think I've covered, so I think the main route that I did do a fair amount of work on was As You Moon. There's actually quite a few new strategies for both. It's not a major thing, that's just some changes for both part 1 and part 2 that just make it, well, it improves the reliability, and also you get to, if you do get to see As You Moon, you get to see Healer Juju.
Alright, yeah, so this is not my last run of the marathon. In fact, I've got like 2 more to go, which is... Oh man. So yeah, I'll be running Alex Rider tomorrow night, which is going to be a meme and a half. But thanks for watching this run. I think up next we have Blinks. Yeah, we have Blinks. A Blinks block actually. We have both Blinks 1 and 2. So stay tuned for that, and